big win for Liverpool today, Ram. The way you came back and everything. Talk to me.
Massive. And look, I gotta say this. Trent is that guy. Them predators he's got on turn him into a new, different player. And I'm loving this, man. Look, I'm gonna be happy about the result. 4-3 after being 3-2 down in like the 80th minute. I'm gonna be buzzing. 3 points every day of the week, and we're 1 point behind Arsenal. But there's so many different problems. There's so much to take in about this game, and I've only got a little bit of time because Tottenham are playing in 10 minutes. But it's Trent amazing. Defensively wise, we're a mess. I thought Klopp would be more conservative when it comes to defensive. Clearly, he wasn't. But this game proved to us that we have the firepower to take on any team, and we can beat any team, and we can score as many goals as they can. So maybe this is a wake-up call for Klopp in the sense of you can be a little bit more conservative. Like, we got Soberstyle, we got McAllister, we got Trent, we got Salah, we got the firepower. They can do their thing, and we can still hold out. And I think that's what we got to do from now on. Because look, today, happy with the result, but performance, we got a little bit lucky, and I can't shy away from that. But I'm going to be celebrating. I mean, Trent, Sam, you've been saying on the group chat, Ches, I need to speak to you, bro, because you were talking about Trent for a long time. Now, what you got to say now, bro? Come on, man. What you going to say?
What do you want me to say? He done well today, man. He performed. Like, he's a quality player. Just obviously don't compare him to Reece James. That's what I come in. Do you know what I mean?
I ain't compared to no one, man. But certain people.
I look at it this way, right? I'm going to make a statement here when it comes to Reece James versus Trent.
Oh no, not this.
Reece James is the better right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the better football player and playmaker. That's my personal opinion, and that's not me like sitting on the fence. That's the truth. I think when it comes to being a right back, attacking and defending collectively, Reece James is better. Overall, as a footballer, going forward as a playmaker, Trent is clear of Reece James. Reece James cannot do what Trent does on a passing range, passing ability, creativity. Equally, when it comes to the defensive side of the game, I think Reece James, when fit, is much better.
I agree with you, but the argument shouldn't be he's a better footballer. I would say that the sample size of Trent is a lot bigger because he plays more. That's that's the argument I would go with. Whereas James,
the availability makes him better. Better in that regard. I would say this to you though, Chairs. I'll say this: within the next 2 years, you're going to very rarely see Trent at right back. This guy is becoming a midfielder. I think he'll be moved into that role. I think.
Why hasn't he done that already though?
I look at it this way: we forget one thing about Trent. Man's still only 24. This guy's still young. This guy burst on the scene, and I think that he's moving into the midfield area. He's learning and understanding football in a much better way now than maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I think he's genuinely going to become a midfield player. He's already doing it for England. He inverts there with Liverpool anyway, and I think eventually he'll be an out-and-out playmaker.
Let me say something quickly about Trent, because I've been singing his praises.
Speak on it.
Because he's not he's not a right back. He's him. That's what Trent is. He's him. When you go to the Etihad away and have a finish like that to secure us a point, and then you go and score, they didn't count it as his goal, but it's an assist, and then go score the winner. You are a game changer. And this is why Liverpool fans before, when they were talking about England, were saying you have to take Trent away on international duty in the major tournaments, because he's one of those guys that will change the game. He was one of those guys out of nothing.
Him attacking is not the issue. It's the defensive.
No. I'm not saying that. But what we're saying is that even this season,
England play defensive football, isn't it?
No. I hear it. But that's on Southgate. That's a problem with Southgate, and we can go all day about Southgate. But with Trent, I've seen it this season. Trent is not defensively all that. I put my hands up. However, he's been all right this season. But his attacking output is so generational. You can sometimes give him a blind defensively, and that's on Trent. So he's world class. He's generational, bro. This guy keeps on growing and growing, and he's been the difference for us in these 2 games against Man City and Fulham. Now, if we're talking about the overall game of Fulham, we played crap. There's no hiding it. We played rubbish. I mean, defensively, We were all over the place. I know we don't have Alisson in goal, and it's easy to scapegoat Kelleher, but there were some things that Kelleher was making, and it was just like, oh, for goodness sake, we need Alisson. We need Alisson back. But yeah.
There's a comment here that says from Sean, one of our members. He says, was just a weird game too, Terry. 2 of their goals should have been saved. And yeah, I think Kelleher was poor. But also, let's be honest. I know you'll admit to this, Ram. How many times have you guys had games that you've won or not lost in where you've gone, if Alisson weren't pulling off unbelievable but beyond human level saves, you wouldn't have won that game. So when you remove a player who is such a match winner from a goalkeeper point of view, you notice it. You really, really do. This here says, true Liverpool fans know we play risk-reward football. There's no problems at Liverpool, Terry. We will outscore teams like we've been doing all season. You don't agree with that, Rack, as a Liverpool fan?
Absolutely not, because we played high risk, high reward football when we were winning the league, and we were playing with a high line. We were playing 2-on-2, 2 centre backs against 2 attackers from the opposition. That's different. We are being played through relatively easily, and that's not by design. We may outscore people, absolutely, but there will come times when we will lose out as a result, because you can't. If you're playing that style, you can't win 100% of the time. I mean, no one wins 100% of the time anyway. But what I'm saying is that you're more susceptible to taking losses. Today's was not a good performance, but to say like this is by design, and there will be games which will be a bit crazy. There have been. We've been involved in a few crazy games, but we will also come out of the games where we won't always be on the right side of it, and that's not a controlled approach to a game. I don't think this is how we want to play. But also, we got the result today.
You're going, Sam.
Also, right, there's one problem that I've been seeing, and it's not actually our midfield. It's not our defense. It's our attack. Now, I know Salah got an assist today, but all 4 goals were not scored by any of our attackers. It was our midfielder and a defender. Now, I've been watching this recently, and I think our attackers have not been clicking. Whoever's been in attack, Diaz, Salah, Nunes. Now, Nunes, I'm starting to lose my patience with him a little bit, because there's been certain chances that he should be scoring now. Like, I think as a Liverpool fan base, we've been giving him a lot of grace. But it's getting to a point now, I'm thinking we could have easily lost this game. And then we're looking at Nunes' chance and thinking, well, you should have scored it like at Luton. Salah should have scored one where I can't remember who flicked it on the corner, and he blasted it over the bar. And it's do you know what? I've been watching. I'm not going to go over the top, but I have been watching it.
It weren't just one sitter he missed. He missed a couple. Like, look, Terry knows, and Terry's done this quite a few times. He kept me up, giving me his praises and everything. But one thing I value a lot is his consistency. And look, you can score winners against Newcastle. You can do whatever, score whatever, however many GA in a certain amount of games, but you need to do it consistently. And if you get the opportunities, and these aren't just half chances, these are clear-cut chances, and you're not taking them, there's got to be an issue with that. And we got bailed out today because of Mr. Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's the key fact of the matter. It could have been another Luton situation where we ended up dropping points when we shouldn't have. And these are the kind of things where Nunes needs to fix up on, because we can't afford to do stuff.
Yeah, you're right. You can't. The one thing, no team can rely on scoring essentially 4 screamers in a game to win it.
Exactly.
Because that Endo shot. If Endo does that shot 20 times, 1 maybe 2 goes in. And I don't think if he doesn't score, I don't think you win the game, because it was just falling away from you. So yeah, you need to be more clinical, and you just I still think you're a top 4 team shoo-in. But winning the title, Rack, surely you have to be harder to progress the ball. It has to be harder to progress the ball through your lines than it currently is.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like I said, the year we won the league, or in the years we went toe-to-toe with City, we always had much more control. Right now, we don't have that much control. Even City last week, they played through our midfield relatively easily. Like, we looked best when the gaps between the front and back were relatively short, and we could control the space a bit more. But as soon as we have to come out and play more expansively, and people will say that it's a byproduct of playing attacking football, but sometimes we get played through so easily. Some of the goals we gave away today were poor. Like that third goal was poor.
But
And also like
Yeah.
that McAllister, you're talking about XG. That I reckon McAllister hits that 100 times and he goes in once or twice from there because
Yeah,
it
10
that's-
just doesn't
10
happen.
times. 1 in 10.
No.
Yeah,
Honestly, check the XG on there. I bet it's 1.1 or 0.01 or 0.02, something like that. It's not
Yeah,
a good
right.
chance. Like we miss
But
some sitters as well. I agree,
Yeah.
and these things balance out. But you know,
One sec, Ram.
This is
Now,
what.
tune into your man's
Yeah,
game
go on,
Sanchez.
Chase.
a little bit, and literally all you're saying, I agree with. Being objective, right? Just Liverpool, they're not clicking the attack, but they still score goals. So that's the main thing. Like, you can still score, and that's always a good trait to have for a team. But I think that moving forward, that like DM position needs to be like clarified. Yes, you've got Gravenberch, you've got Endo coming in, who's not at the level, of course, but the way Fulham got through, that shouldn't really be happening for a team trying to contend the league. If you're trying to get top 4, that's fine, but you need to shore that up because moving forward during the course of the season, like Terrace said, there's so many screamers can score, right? Even with Mohamed Salah in the team. So
And Chelsea,
But that's-
remember what I said
when
in the
you-
group
when
chat?
you-
I always said in the group chat, yeah, we need a DM at the beginning of the season. And I said we can hold it until January, but that has to be top priority that we get a DM. I always said this, when Chelsea got Lavia and Caicedo, for me, that only just slowed down the process for us for winning the league. That's what I've always said that. So we need to get a DM in January. We cannot go through the rest of the season without a DM.
But my issue with when people say, "Oh, the high risk, high reward" kind of thing. Look, that was how many years ago was this? 3 years ago. We had a completely different midfield, and we don't need to play this high risk, high reward. We got a completely different midfield with a lot more technical ability. But with Soboslai, McAllister, they're a lot more technical compared to the likes of Wijnaldum, Henderson, Milner, and Fabinho. So we don't need to be playing this high risk, high reward when we've got players who have the quality to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And that's what we should be doing. That's why I say we need to be a little bit more conservative defensively, but allow the attackers to do what they do best, which is get goals.